Hello and welcome to the IP study video lecture. The chapter we are going to cover today is reproduction in plants. The topics which we are going to discuss today are modes of reproduction, sexual reproduction, dispersal of seeds and vegetative propagation. So, how are we able to see the plants which were used to grow millions of years ago or thousands of years ago even today? Are those plants still alive? Are we seeing the same plants or we are seeing something different, similar to them? Well, we are seeing the plants which are similar to the ancient plants. And the reason, the phenomena which make it possible is known as reproduction. So, what is reproduction? Reproduction is the process by which individuals are produced from their parents. We all have parents. Our parents give birth to us. Similarly, plants also give birth. Plants produce seeds or they divide among themselves to produce the new individual. What are the two main objectives behind the reproduction? It is continuity of a life on the earth and increase in number of species. Apart from that, reproduction also help in increase in the number of the individual. Say for example, in humans only, let's take an example, if there is no reproduction, if it is completely stopped, then there will not be increase in the number of human beings and eventually after 20, 30, 40 years, there will not be any human being living on this earth. So, to increase the number, to increase the continuity, we need reproduction. How reproduction is occur? There are two modes through which reproduction can be possible. It is sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. In sexual reproduction, gametes are involved. Gametes are the cells provided by two different parents. In asexual reproduction, single parent can divide to form the new individual. In this, gametes are not involved. This is one of the significant difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. Now that you are aware of the two modes of the reproduction, let us continue with the sexual reproduction in plants. So, which is the organ in the plant which play crucial role in the sexual reproduction? Any guess? Is it leaf, root, stem? Which part? Flower is the portion which participate in the sexual reproduction. It is a reproductive unit of a plant. Before we go deeper into the reproduction, it is important to understand the structure of a flower. Flower consists of four main parts: sepal, petals, stamen and pistil. The outermost portion of the flower is sepal. It is greenish in color, followed by inner portion which is petal. Petal is the bright colorful portion of the plant flower. The flower which we usually get attracted by its color, that portion we are usually visualizing is petal. After petal, there is stamen. Stamen is known as male reproductive portion. It is a male organ in the flower. And then pistil, which is a female organ in the flower. So, stamen consists of two parts. One is anther, another is filament. If you observe this image carefully, you can see that outer bulbous portion is anther. It is connected with a tube to the flower, which is known as filament. So, anther and filament together form a stamen. Anther consists of powdery material which is known as pollen. And then female part. Female part consists of three things: stigma, style and ovary. Ovary is present at the base of the flower. It consists of small ovules. These portions are ovules. So, what is the role of ovule and pollen? I will discuss in the later. Another is ovary is connected with the stigma. The outer portion of the pistil is stigma via tube known as style. Now that you are aware of the basic structure of the flower, let us start with the first step of the reproduction, which is pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is simply transfer of pollen from anther to the stigma. So, where is anther? Let me show you. This is anther. It consists of pollen. The transfer of pollen from anther to this stigma is known as pollination. Pollination are also of two types. One is cross-pollination and another is self-pollination. So what is self-pollination? So what happens if in single flower, like bisexual flower which contain all four parts, if pollen transfer occur between the anther and stigma of a same flower, that is self-pollination. However, when there is a case of unisexual flower in which one flower bear male reproductive portion and another flower bear the female reproductive portion, in that case, when transfer of pollen from male reproductive flower to female reproductive flower occurs, that transfer is known as cross-pollination. When this flower transferred pollen to this flower, then this phenomena is cross-pollination. Cross-pollination can be done with the help of pollinators. When honeybee and butterfly visit any flower, what happened? Pollens get stick to their body. It get transferred to another flower where they are taking nectar. In this way, pollen from one flower get transferred to the another flower. Now that you are aware of the pollination, another step in reproduction is fertilization. What happened when pollen reaches to the stigma? It sits on the stigma. It forms a thin tube which is known as pollen tube. This tube moves inside the ovary and reach the ovule. And there, this pollen releases the male cell, which entered the ovule and fused with it. This fusion is known as fertilization. When a male gamete, pollen is a male gamete, ovule is the female gamete. When the male gamete fuses with the female gamete, it gives rise to the zygote, and the process is known as fertilization. So simply, when fusion is occurring, that phenomena is fertilization. So first is pollination occur, in which pollen from the anther reach to the stigma, and then when it again reach to the ovary and fuses, it occurs fertilization. So what happens when fertilization is occur? Once the fertilization is done, seed formation is occur, zygote. First fusion occur, then zygote is formed. This zygote undergoes large number of cell division, which eventually reach in the formation of the seed and the fruit simultaneously. Once seeds and fruits are developed, what is the next fate to them? What happened? That flower is formed into the fruit, and the ovary present inside the flower become the seed. As fusion occur and it form the seed. Now what happened once fruit and seeds are formed? Well, once fruits and seeds are formed, dispersal is occur. Seeds are spread from one place to another, and that seeds again regrow in a plant, and the process of growing of a seed is known as seed germination. So dispersal is not a single phenomena. Dispersal of seeds occurs in multiple ways in different plants depending on the type of the seeds. One of the common ways through which seeds are spread or dispersed is known as dispersal by wind. What happened? There are certain flowers like cotton plants, their seeds are very small. A strong wind take away into them to the larger places. There is dispersal by water. What happens? Seed floats on the water and reach from one place to another. Common example are coconut seed and lotus seed. Dispersal is also done with the help of animals or humans. What happened? There are certain seeds which consist of a spine and hooks. These seeds get attached to the body of animals or humans when they are moving across the forest or nearby any plant, and then they move with the help of animals or humans, they move from one place to another. Apart from that, when animals such as birds or other animals eat the fruit, what happens? These seeds do not get digested. They come out of their feces, and the place where they left the undigested seed, from there they regrow. Another method of dispersion is by explosion. What happens? Seed present inside the fruit, that fruit get exploded and seed get spread far away places. For example, if you observe this image, this is a lady finger fruit. This get burst open and these are the small seeds which are released in the environment. Let us now continue with the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is mainly observed in the smaller organisms, in very smaller plants. There are different modes of asexual reproduction. Let us take each one of them one by one. First is budding. What is budding? Budding is a process in which on a parent plant, a small bud is formed. That bud is grow, detaches from the body and grow into a big individual. So this is budding. This is a parent plant. A small bud is arise. This bud then finally become big bud. This detaches from the body and you can observe two individuals simultaneously. One is parent body, another is offspring, the new individual formed. Let us now continue with another process which is known as fragmentation. What happened? This is a parent body. It get break into two parts and each part become the new individual. Then this new individual further break into 2 or 3 parts and each part become many individuals. In this way, simply multiple organisms are formed. So fragmentation is basically fragmented, breaking into 2 parts or more than 2 parts. Another is spore formation. What happens? Certain parent body like fungi, they consist of small spores like pollens. They burst their parent body burst open to release these spores in the environment, and wherever these spores grow, they get the required nutrients and grow into a new parent body. Now that you have studied the both asexual and sexual mode of reproduction, there is another type of asexual reproduction which is known as vegetative propagation. Why vegetative propagation is interesting? Because it does not involve any specialized structure. The existing part, which is root, stem and leaf, which are not reproductive part of the plant, these plants give rise to the new plants. Isn't it very interesting? So let us understand vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation can be done both naturally and artificially. Naturally, it occurs in nature and artificially human beings can do it. Let us continue with natural vegetative propagation. If you observe, there are certain tuberous food like sweet potato and dahlia. If you take the root of the sweet potato and dahlia, you simply sow that inside the soil. After a few days, you might observe a small plantlet start growing out of it. There are certain roots which are adventitious roots present in the plant. They are the special type of root which consists of a small bud. These bud grow into new plant. You can observe this adventitious root growing in mint plant. Apart from that, you can also observe them in strawberry. Now, vegetative propagation through stem. If you take a ginger and you simply cut it and sow it in the soil, you might observe that ginger grow into a new plant without any involvement of the seeds or any special structure. Similarly, if you take a potato, you cut it into and sow it into the potato is a tuber, and if you take that tuber and you simply sow it into the soil, it grow into a new plant. One important thing which you need to carefully observe while sowing the potato is that this is a potato and it consists of this kind of a structure. This is known as eye of the potato or a node or bud. It must be present while we sowing the potato in the soil so that it can grow. Apart from that, we can sow the bulb of the garlic plant or bulb of the onion directly into the soil, and you will observe that after few days there will be growth of a new plant. Apart from root and stem, there is leaves also take part in the vegetative propagation. If you observe, there are certain plants like bryophyllum whose leaf have small buds around it. If you take that simple leaf and sow it into the soil, it will grow into a new plant. Now that we have covered the natural vegetative propagation, let us go with artificial method of propagation. Artificial, like I have said, it is done by human beings. What happened? First is cutting. In cutting, simply one part of the portion of the plant is cut and another portion is attached to it and it is covered, and after few days you will observe that they will be joined together. This kind of process is mainly used by florists to grow the rose plant. What they do, they simply take a stem of the rose, cut it and sow it into the soil, and after few days when you observe that stem start growing the roots, leaves, and grow into a big plant after few days. Grafting is a method in which one portion is cut and sow inside the another portion, and they are wrapped together, and after few days you might observe that they join together. Finally, layering. What happened? One portion of the plant is taken, one long branch is taken and directly sow into the soil, and after few days that eventually grow into a new plant. If you observe this image carefully, you can see that a branch is taken and directly sow into the soil, and after few days you might observe that that branch eventually grow into a new plant. This method is known as layering. Let us now continue with fragmentation. Like I have already told you before, that fragmentation is breaking of one part into more than one part. It is common in the algae. If you observe this image, this is a plant body of algae. It break into two, then this further break into multiple parts, and these each are the different plant bodies. It is common in algae known as Spirogyra. Similarly, reproduction in ferns. Ferns are the small plants. They bear the small pores at the back of the leaf. These pores get released and grow into new plant. One of the artificial method is tissue culture. In tissue culture, what happened? A small portion of a plant is taken, any portion, and it is kept in the petri dish, a small dish which consists of required nutrient necessary for the growth of the plant, and that tissue which we have taken from the plant is immersed into it, and after few days it has been observed that a small new plant start growing from that tissue. If you can focus, this is the petri dish from where small plants are growing from the tissue, which eventually grow further and and transfer to the field for the further growth. Now that we have covered entire chapter, let us recall each point one by one. The process by which new individuals are formed is known as reproduction. There are two types of reproduction, sexual and asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction involves vegetative propagation, budding, fragmentation, and spore formation. Flower is the reproductive portion of the plant. It consists of male reproductive part and female reproductive part. Stamen is the male reproductive part. Pistil is the female reproductive part. When pollen is transferred from anther to stigma, the process is known as pollination. When male and female gametes are fused, the process is known as fertilization. Once the seed formation occurs, it is spread, and the phenomena of spread is known as dispersal of seeds. It can be done through various means like water, wind, and through human beings also. And seed dispersal is necessary to prevent the overcrowding of the plant. That's all for today. We will continue with another topic in another lecture. Thank you.